Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to day 17 of the holiday card series. Today's video is not only just part of the holiday card series, but it's actually part of a blog hop for Simon Says Stamps December release. So you're going to see a bunch of different dies from Simon used today on the card, and I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. Like I said, I'm using a bunch of dies. I've got the snowflake frame, so a frame of snowflakes and then individual snowflakes as well. Small script trio word dies. They're all really tiny and you can separate them so you only use them one at a time. The dainty snowflake die, which actually has a shadow die for it as well, if you want something on the background. And then I do have these two sets of dies that cut out little strips, different widths actually, and I'm only going to be using one of those sets today. So I've die cut a bunch out of just white cardstock. I used Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock for all the die cutting, and I cut out 4 of the hugs greeting because I wanted to stack them and make it more substantial. This is a technique that has been super popular for a number of years now, and it never gets old for me. My tips for stacking die cut greetings like this is to use a liquid adhesive and some tweezers, and then after you initially adhere them together, make sure you pick it up and use your fingertips to sort of glide the die cut so that everything aligns and looks just right. For the snowflake frame, I actually thought of an idea where I would cut out the center area and then have my stripes behind it, but I wasn't really thinking that far ahead. I didn't realize that it wouldn't leave much of a border, and it just complicated things later down the road. So I think if I was to make this card again, I would skip this step, keep that interior intact, and instead cut out my striped area and just adhere it on top. I think it would have the same effect unless I was going to be adhering the snowflake frame with foam adhesive. I don't think there's any need to have the stripes behind the frame. But I didn't know it at this point, hadn't thought that far ahead. So for all of my stripes, I cut them out of white paper just for ease of use, and so I wouldn't have to cut a bunch of different colors of paper. And instead, I'm going to be coloring them with different colors of Simon Says Stamp ink. So I distributed all my strips of cardstock across all 5 colors. And then at first I thought maybe I'll ink blend these on, but then it was just easier just to do direct paper inking. And this is very similar to, I think it was day 16, just the very last video, where I colored that cardstock with that ink pad. It's going to make it look like the cardstock is that color instead of it originally being white. So I use some dull pink, orange peel, sunshine, jelly bean green, and then the last color is High Tide. I love this combination of colors. I think they look so great and just cheerful and very, very happy. So this is not your traditional Christmas color palette. This is a little bit of a more modern twist. So I just used some scratch paper. This is some My Sweet Petunia grid paper that usually goes in my MISTI. It's just whatever I had on hand. And I put a bunch of Tombow Extreme adhesive down, and then I'm adhering the strips directly onto that paper. And I'm lining them up, trying to get them to be butting up against each other just perfectly without any gaps. I'm doing this in rainbow order just because it's easy. And I double checked to make sure that I had enough of that adhered to cover that entire interior area of the frame. And I'm going to cut it at a diagonal, so I'm tracing the interior of my snowflake frame. And this is so that I can cut the perfect size of this new DIY pattern paper that I've created. I used a ruler and a craft knife from Tim Holtz to cut this out. I just cut a little bit beyond where I had the pencil lines so that I could have a little bit of space to adhere these stripes behind my snowflake frame.
So I put, first I erased all my pencil lines, and then I put a very, very thin strip of adhesive. This is Gina K Connect glue. It's the same glue I used when I stacked those Hugs die cuts earlier. And then I put my frame right on top, and it's just barely the right size. So like I said before, if I did this again, I would do it differently. My card base is made out of some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock. Then put some foam adhesive behind my snowflake frame and adhered that directly onto my card front. For my greeting, I am using the Hugs die, but I also wanted to add just a Christmas on there. So I'm going to be cutting down this reverse Christmas sentiment strip from Kathy Zielske from CZ Design. And I'm only taking the word Christmas. I'm splitting that greeting in half, and I'll just be taking the Christmas. And then I sort of played around with the placement. Where would the big snowflake go? Where did I want the hugs? Where did I want the Christmas? And this is the design that I stumbled upon that I really liked. I adhered the large snowflake in the bottom right corner, and then I adhered the Hugs greeting right above that and had the descender of the letter G sort of just nestle right in there in between the different legs of the snowflake. And then I adhered that Christmas sentiment strip right above. And that finishes the card for today. I really love the different colorful stripes. I think it turned out to be a really fun card.
Okay, that card was a journey. I think there were probably a lot of different ways that would have made putting it together a little bit more simple, a little bit easier. I hope you'll take those into account if you want to make something similar, do a little bit of that striping paper piecing and putting it on top of that snowflake background or the snowflake frame. There's a lot of different things that I probably would have done differently, but I still love how it turned out. I really like today's card. If you want to check out even more inspiration and ideas for dies from the December release, make sure you head over to my blog. I will link to the main area over the Simon Says Stamp blog where you can click through and see all of the inspiration. It's going to be a lot of fun. On screen, I've got the 3 most recent years from the holiday card series, all day 17. And if you want to see every single card going back to the year 2009, it's been such a long time, they will be listed down below in the video description. Just a reminder, I'll be live here at YouTube on Friday for day 18, and you can catch me at noon Mountain Time. See you then.